All right, today's lesson is not really a lesson, it's review, and you just need to get the practice down because you're going to have a quiz on this concept, and these questions are going to be very similar to the quiz questions that you're going to see. So I want you to do the very best that you can do. Remember, the main relationships as far as being able to remember all of your trig relationships is so, ka, toa. Go ahead and write that on the top of your paper along with mixed review with just trig relationships because that's what we're working on today. So today we're going to do mixed trig problems. So we're going to take a look at sides, angles, and then at the very beginning we're going to take a look at ratios, which is what we did at the very beginning of this, this unit. So that's what we're working on today, is just practice. Today's going to be a little different type of video because what I want you to do is you're going to take a look at all of these questions before I go over all of the answers, because I want you to be able to answer them on your own without having to be kind of force-fed all of the answers. So what you're going to do is you are going to go ahead and pause the video. Now when you press play again, I am going to explain out this first problem, problem 1, problem 2, and problem 7, but I want you to attempt them first, okay, before I explain everything out. All of the other problems, all of the other problems they're going to have the work shown, so you're going to be able to see that, but I'm really going to dive into this one, 1, 2, and 7. All right, so what I'd like you to do right now is you're going to go ahead and pause that video, work it out on your own, and then once you're ready, on your own, you're going to play the video to see if you got the problems right. All right, the cool thing about having a video is the fact that you can fast forward or you can back it up. So go ahead and fast forward, see what this answer is if you already have your work done. You could go ahead and skip this problem if you got the right answer. So I'm going to walk through this one, 1, 2, and 7. You're free to not skip around, sorry. Check all of your work, make sure you've got it right, and then correct it if you need to. So for this first one, it's asking for sine. I'm missing a few pieces of information here. First of all, I need reminders as to soka, toa. I'm also missing this other piece to the triangle. If I look at this triangle, I have a hypotenuse, I have a leg length, I have another leg length, but I don't know what that one is. But with two sides of a triangle, I can go ahead and set it up in the Pythagorean theorem and solve for the missing third side. So I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem down here to find that third side first. Okay, so here's our hypotenuse, just as a reminder. These are legs. So we're going to end up with x squared plus 6x equals 10x. Simplifying that is just going to be 36 equals 100. Whoops, where did that come from? Erase little, thank you. We're going to subtract 36 from both sides, and x squared is going to be 64. When we square root both sides, x just becomes 8. So our leg length over here is 8. All right. Now, this is going to switch. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take care of sine L and cosine L just because I'm going to label my triangles. And you will see that it will switch from time to time because L represents the angle that we are setting all of our sides to. So if we're talking about L, we are looking at, and we need sine. Sine is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So we need hypotenuse, which will always be hypotenuse no matter what. This is going to end up being opposite, and this is adjacent in respect to theta. Now, when we have sine L and we have opposite, which is 6 divided by the hypotenuse, which is 10, we do need to simplify life there. So this is going to end up just being 3/5. Okay? Now, I'm going to erase all of these boxes and squares. We're going to take a look at cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So my adjacent number is 8 divided by hypotenuse, which is 10. Simplify that, it would just equal 4/5. So cosine L would just be 4/5 as a ratio. Let's go ahead and take a look at, if we were to name the angle that we're looking at, which is the angle N, as theta. So we need to change how the sides are in respect to theta. This is now going to move over to adjacent because it's next to. This is opposite. So now what we're going to end up with is tangent. Tangent is going to give us opposite over adjacent. So we need our side opposite, which is 8. Whoops. Divided by adjacent, which is 6, which would simplify 4/3. Okay, now sine N is opposite. Whoops. Opposite over hypotenuse. I got that from up here. Okay, and then we're looking for 8 divided by hypotenuse, which is 10, which is just going to be 4/5. All right, so there we go. We are done with our ratios for this particular problem. Let's go ahead and move on to number 1. Okay, so for number 1, we have to set it up and solve. Okay, so for number 1, with respect to 63, that's going to be our theta, or the angle everything's going to be set to. Let's go ahead and identify key information. This is going to be our hypotenuse opposite the right side, always. Okay, 63 is going to be adjacent. And if you want to, you can label opposite. If opposite is the easiest one for you to label and then the other one's always adjacent, do what you need to do in order to get the problem right. I'm only going to put this up here for the problems that we're going over, but it should be at the top of your paper so you can reference it every single time. So for this particular triangle, I'm given the adjacent and hypotenuse. I have to find the adjacent. So which one has adjacent and hypotenuse? It's going to end up being cosine. So cosine, whoops, cosine 63 equals adjacent, which is x, divided by hypotenuse. So we're using that ratio that we practiced on that last problem to set up the problem to be able to solve for x. The very next step is we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 16. So I'm going to go ahead and show that in red just because it's going to show that it's the next step. And then we're going to end up with 16 times cosine times 63. So I'm going to bring out my calculator here, put that to the side, zoom over a little bit, and I need to figure out 16. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. 16 times cosine 63. Remember, we need to start with 63. Bump, bump. Times cosine. Not second. We're going to do cosine. 63. Nope, I apologize. My mind was elsewhere. We needed 63 first, then cosine, then press the equal sign. Now we're going to go ahead and multiply that by 16. And that should give you x equals 7.3 as your end answer. Now, remember, you can also use Desmos.com, and there's a scientific calculator on that you can use. Or type in scientific calculators, Desmos, you'll be able to find that scientific calculator to be able to use if you cannot find it, or if you're on a Chromebook. All right. So looking at number 2, let's go ahead and, I want to see this larger. There we go. We're going to go ahead and solve for x. X is a side length. In respect to 39, it's going to be adjacent. And 39 is opposite. And we don't care about the hypotenuse this time. So in this time, we need opposite and adjacent. So that's going to be tangent. So tangent 39 equals opposite 27 divided by x. Okay, so since we're dividing by x, in this case we have to multiply both sides by x in order to get it out of the denominator. So that would make this become 1, and I'm left with x tangent 39 equals 27. Next step is we need to go ahead and isolate x. So we're going to divide both sides by tangent 39. So we're left with x equals 29 divided by tangent 39. In your calculator, you should end up with 33.3. Woohoo! All right. Okay, so I'm going to stay silent while I scroll over all of the other problems. When we get to 7, I'm going to explain that one. If you need more time on a specific slide, please make sure you're pausing the video. But I'm going to spend about 5 seconds, or try to, on each slide that's been worked out. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at number 7. With number 7, with respect to the x degree, this is going to end up being hypotenuse. This is opposite. So we need a relationship between hypotenuse and opposite. So look at the top of your page. It's going to end up being sine x, because that's our angle that we're looking for. And then opposite is 4 divided by 6. Next step, because we're looking for an angle, and we need to get rid of this sine on this side of the equation. Whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other. We're going to inverse sine in order to get it to the other side of the equation. So this is going to end up just equaling x equals sine inverse 4 divided by 6. Now I noticed you can see 4 divided by 6 can be simplified. It doesn't matter. We can do 2/3. It'll still be the same answer. I'd say just go ahead and keep it as 4/6 just in case you make a mistake simplifying. So once you type that into the calculator, press enter, you should end up with the answer of x equals 41.8 degrees, and I'm going to show you on the calculator how to do that just as a one last reminder. And I'm going to also try to pull up Desmos scientific calculator because I realized that the Chromebooks do not have the HP calculator that I'm using. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that as well. So for this one, we need, first of all, to write in our fraction. So that's going to be 4 divided by 6, close parentheses, press the equal key. Now we're going to go ahead and press the multiplication key because it's going to multiply our answer, which is 0.6 repeating. Haha. Yes, I know some of you guys are probably thinking it. Okay, but we need sine inverse, so I press the trigonometry button second, because at first it would show me sine, cosine, tangent, but if you press second, it'll show you that exponent of -1, and that's what we're looking for, that inverse sine. And then press the enter button. You will end up with 27, and I think I just messed up, because it just showed us 44 or 41, and that's what I wanted. So let's back up. No. Okay. Too many times pressing the enter button. Okay. So start off with 4 divided by 6, close parentheses. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that as a sine inverse, and notice how it's 41.8. That's our solution for our angle measurement. Okay, if you have a special calculator, you do need to make sure you're in degrees mode, because if it's radian, it's going to be a completely different answer. So make sure you're in degrees. All right. I'm going to have a special video just on calculators here. Let's go ahead and see about, if you type in Let's see. Let's type in scientific calculator. So if you just Google scientific calculator, you'll notice that one of the first ones that comes up is the Google calculator. It has sine, cosine, tangent, but we really need is inverse, which it actually has. INV is going to give you those inverse functions, so you can use that if you want. You can also use Desmos, because notice how when you go to functions, it's going to say sine, cosine, tangent, and then there's your inverse functions as well. So I like Desmos because you can go ahead and type it in just like you see it on the paper. So that'd be 4 divided by 6. Man, I like that a little bit more than my own computer. So you see what you like. It's up to you. You can use Desmos, you can use Google, you can use the calculator on your computer. I now hate my calculator on my computer and wish I taught the other videos with this. So, you choose. Let's go back to what we were doing, and I will keep that in mind for when I have other problems to solve out. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 8. Number 9, remember you can pause the video or fast forward or rewind if you need to. And here's number 10. Alright, so I hope you're getting the help you need. If you don't understand a certain concept, remember Mr. Bull is awesome, so please go to tutoring if you need it, okay? I'm going to be checking in with Miss Young, and she's going to hopefully be making phone calls to parents if you're not turning your things in and trying to get you into tutoring, just because I don't want you to fall behind. So please make sure you have your assignments turned in. Don't sleep during class. I'm going to call out some names. Other than that, have a wonderful day, and I hope you are able to understand this content pretty well, and if not, I hope you're asking the questions you need to be able to be successful with this material. Thank you. Bye.